This is Chris Kelly with one of the most important presentations for both our distance clients, our 10 minutes that are doing our 10-minute circuit and training in all over the world, as well as our clients in person here in Lakeland. And these are just basic nutrition essentials. Okay, and what I want to get into is the fact that I feel like people get far too involved in dieting, where they worry about counting calories, how many carbs they're eating, versus just looking at the basics and thinking about what can we do to just simplify things to the point where you're able to self-correct. All right, and that is the key to long-term results. It's not getting on a crash diet or getting on a short-term approach, but just educating yourself to the point to where you make, if you screw up or you make a mistake, you have the knowledge to self-correct. Okay, and that's going to be the key. My promise to you is that by focusing on these basic principles, you will achieve 95% of the results that you're looking for, and from there, then we can start to ramp up and worry more about structured dieting and counting calories. The reality is that this should be as simple as possible, so that's how we want to address this nutrition. So our first topic is your anytime plate. Okay, and this is how we construct a plate of food when you're just thinking about eating during the day. Okay, let's say you haven't exercised, or you're waking up in the morning or having breakfast. You will never go wrong with this composition. If you're looking for a lean body, then this is what we're looking at. Okay, we have the largest serving is going to be veggies. Okay, veggies help to turn our body into a fat burning machine. They help to slow digestion and allow us to all kinds of good reactions to happen. So the majority of our plate is going to be made up of a wide variety of vegetables, and so that could be really anything excluding corn. Not a big fan of corn. That's just a personal preference, but I just put that in there. Okay, now from there, the second portion that we're looking at is protein. Okay, and protein could be any kind of animal protein, any sort of lean protein, from anything from red meat to chicken to fish or eggs, or it could be vegetarian sources such as quinoa, soy, or what have you. Okay, the bottom line is that we have something fresh, and there's always a portion of protein available in our meals. Okay, and again, that's going to help to turn the body into a fat burning machine and ensure things are balanced out. The smallest portion is fat. Okay, and while fat has gotten a bad rap, it's still an important part of our meals. We just want you to get it from things like oils, nuts, and seeds versus from fatty cuts of meats, or maybe things contained in foods like salad dressing. So try to get unprocessed whole sources of these things, and you can never go wrong. But this plate is for eating anytime. This is dinner, this is lunch, these are your meals on non-workout days. Okay, so what does a workout plate look like? So here we go. Now with the workout plate, we've just gone through a workout. Okay, you've just done interval training, you might have just strength trained, whatever it may be. So your body is going to be in need of resources to rebuild. All right, so you see that the majority of or half of our plate is going to be made up of protein. Okay, protein is a building block that helps to really compose our muscles, really build anything in our body, from blood cells to bones, or whatever the body needs. So it's the brick and mortar of our body, and we need more of it after we've specifically broken down muscles. Okay, you'll also notice that we've included a starch in this plate. So these are your oats, your pasta, your yams, your things that are a little bit more geared towards slow digesting carbohydrates, more complex in nature. The time that you want to have those things, and these are something that you might be indulging in a little bit more. If you're going to do that, then after your workout is the best time, because our body needs that. Okay, we also want to include some fruits and veggies, and really that could be anything after we eat. Okay, fruits are great in this time because again, they provide sugar. They're readily absorbed by our muscles, and they're beneficial, especially right after our workout. So in terms of nutrition, another question that I get a lot is, what do we eat before we come in? And what I'm going to do is talk to you about fat loss, because this seems to be the goal that confuses people most. All right, and for this, if we're looking at 2 to 3 hours before workout, okay, you can have a larger meal. Okay, and what I like for this purpose would be something less, any kind of protein. So it could be eggs, it could be meat, a protein shake, along with just a simple fruit or veggie. Right now, for 30 to 60 minutes out, if you have a little bit less time, but you're still able to sit down and get something in, then a skinless fruit and a protein-only shake is what you're looking at. These things will be digested fairly quickly, and they will be available during your workout. Now, if you wake up at 6:05 and your class is at 6:15 in the morning, okay, and you only have time to just get something really quick, then just sip on a protein shake during your workout. All right, this is something that is quickly digested. It's going to go right to your bloodstream. It's going to be beneficial. All right, and for our workout shake, the composition would be a whey protein, which is a whey and milk-based proteins, come from animals, obviously, or plant-based proteins such as hemp or soy or whatever it may be. Now, if we're looking at muscle gain nutrition, really the only difference is that we're going to add a little bit of carbohydrates to our shake. So we would have protein along with something like, maybe some oats ground up, some dextrose, some sort of a sugar, again, just to give us a little bit more energy. But for the purposes of fat loss, we want to stick to this idea of protein only. So this is the most important slide in our presentation, because if you stick to these basic rules, you'll be successful regardless. In fact, make a screenshot of this, put it on your fridge, fold it up, take it with you to restaurants, because this is the key. So these are the 5 habits that if you follow, my promise to you is that you will achieve 95% of the results that you're looking for with nutrition without changing anything else in your diet. Okay, so number 1 is check in with hunger. It takes about 15 to 20 minutes for our body to realize that we're full. Okay, so that's why people can go to a buffet, really chow down, and then about 15 minutes in, they start to just groan and grimace and fall over. So what my message to you here is eat slowly. Attempt to really just spend 15 to 20 minutes grazing on your meal and stop when you're about 80% full. Again, after about this 20-minute mark, our body recognizes this fullness, so we're not just busting from the gills, or we just keep eating. So get up. Go to the fridge, maybe take some time and talk to whoever you're with at lunch, and just take time and eat your meals. It's difficult sometimes, and this is not always possible, but always eat until you're about 80% full versus 100% full. From an aesthetic perspective, this is also going to allow your stomach to shrink a little bit versus stretching when we fill our belly all the time. So it's also going to be the key to a flatter stomach. Habit number 2 is something we've already discussed, but I think that it's really important to say that veggies are one of the most important things that you're going to eat. They're going to help to fill you up when you're in periods of dieting. They're going to help to slow down digestion. They're going to help to our bodies to deal with fat a little bit better. And again, these are something that we should eat with every meal. They should compose the majority of your plate when you're not exercising, and then at least a third of your plate when you are. All right, so veggies are going to be essential, and this could be anything from squash to broccoli to cauliflower. It doesn't really matter. Just get those veggies in. We're recommending up to 10 servings a day, but again, it's just try to get them in with every meal. Habit number 3 is another important one, because protein leads to satiety. Protein helps our bodies to deal with hunger, and again, because protein is a little bit harder to break down as well, it's something that makes us a little bit more inefficient for fat loss, meaning our body has to burn more calories to use to digest the meal. So we're burning more calories at rest, therefore it's helping us to lose more body fat. What we recommend is that eat at least 1 palm-sized portion of protein for females, while males should have about 2 palm-sized portions. And again, this could be anything from vegetarian sources to meats or eggs or whatever it may be. In terms of carbs, if you're not working out, what I would recommend is, subbing out breads, rice, and pastas, other starchy carbs, for a double serving of veggies. You can never go wrong with that. Again, that's going to help to quell hunger, and it's going to put you on the right foot to achieve your body composition goals. And then when we're looking at fat, simply prioritize whole sources like eggs, meat, fish, olive oil, and seeds. So basic shopping list of superfoods here. I'm not going to go down the benefits of all of these things. We do have some videos on our websites of the benefits of these specific things, but this is a great shopping list that kind of encompasses everything that I've been talking about and what I recommend to a lot of our clients here at the gym. So feel free to make a screenshot of this and fill your pantry with good things. I find that if you only have good things available, then you can never go wrong. All right. And one of the big habits we work on with many of our clients is what we call the Sunday ritual. They go shopping on Sunday. They spend about an hour preparing their foods, and then you know exactly what you're doing for that week. All right. So by shopping maybe on a Saturday or Sunday, this kind of starts you thinking about, what am I doing for the week, so you don't have to self-correct as you're going through your week. And finally, we have when to eat what. Okay, I get questions all the time. When do we take these things in? And this is just a summary of exactly what we've been talking about. For fat loss, really the only time that we're taking in a protein shake would be during our workout, and the only time that we're eating starchy carbs would be after our workout. Now, if your progress is stalled out at a certain point, you can also subtract starchy carbs from your workout. But I like to start with them there simply because we want to milk that progress for all it's worth before getting more severe at the way that we're dieting. In terms of fruits and veggies, for fat loss, I recommend a 5-to-1 veggie to fruit ratio. Fruit is awesome and it works very well, but the reality is that it is a source of sugar. So focus on the veggies over the fruit, especially later in the day. And as well, protein should be eaten with every meal. But that is just a very, very quick, broad overview of basic nutrition. I hope that helps. We also include a clean eating diet template with our service, and I think that it gives you kind of a better idea of how we plug these things in. The bottom line is nutrition should be simple. The less you can think about it, the better. So by following these basic principles, hopefully you will be well on your way to achieving your fitness and health goals.